Alright, welcome to video 4 in our Old Hickory series. Now today I want to talk about using your Old Hickory to strike a Ferrocerium rod. Now if that's all we did in the video, take us about 10 seconds and it'll be over before you know it. So instead, before we get to that, what we're going to do is make some fuzz sticks. Now what fuzz sticks are you take a stick, a dry stick, and basically you try to shave it down as thin as you can, but keep those curls still hanging on the stick. And each of your shavings, you want to get at least one curl in there. Now usually you'll use a bigger stick than this, but this is the wood that we batoned out in our video from that pine log. And that's what we're going to use to make some fuzz sticks. So what you want to do is support your work on something. You don't want to try to hold it up here in the air. It's a lot harder to do that way. So we're going to hold it down, and basically you're just going to try to make shavings on there as thin as possible, get them to curl up and get them to stay on your stick. Now you don't need to go the whole way around the stick. You're just going to create them all kind of on the same plane of the stick. And if they fall off, don't worry about that. Just keep them aside, don't throw them away. They'll still burn and they're still pretty fine material that'll ignite. And that's what you're doing with the fuzz stick, is you're creating more surface area on this stick, which will help it catch on a lot faster and make it burn. So here we go, we have one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video. I'm going to work on the rest of these. You definitely want to make sure you have enough fuzz sticks if that's what you're using to start your fire. You can never have really too many of them. I realize if you're out and you really need to get the fire going, you want to minimize how much time you spend on it, but you really want to make sure that you spend enough time to get your fire to go, because you're just going to get discouraged when your fire doesn't burn and you have to stop and just start all over making more fuzz sticks. So you just hang in there, listen to a little music here while I make the rest of these into fuzz sticks. Okay, I think I'm going to go with those for right now. Now if you're out and you have your Bic, or you have your matches or whatever, you can start your fire with those. But remember, I said we were going to use our Ferro rod. So to do that, we're going to need something that's going to easily ignite with our Ferro rod, and these fuzz sticks aren't going to do that. So what we're going to use is a piece of fat wood. Now fat wood comes from pine trees, and it's located where the sap concentrates and has a very turpentine smell, and it's a very good fire starter. So what we're going to do is use the spine of our Old Hickory, and we're going to shave down this fat wood, and we're going to get some shavings, and we're going to use that and strike the ferro rod into that to get the flame going. Now I want to keep these fat wood shavings dry, so you're going to get a nice piece of bark or something like that and shave them onto it. Now here in Pennsylvania we have a lot of birch trees, so I like to use birch because once you get the fire going, the bark's going to burn well too. So what I'm going to do, I said I'm going to use the back of my knife, and I'm just going to shave this down, and I'll pull it up there and let you see it after I'm getting a nice pile of it here. Now like I said, you can collect this from down pine trees usually. You want to get it where the branches aren't too dead, but have dead, and especially if they come down at an angle into the trunk, right there where they come into the trunk is where this is going to concentrate. And also I guess you can find it in the roots too. Now here in Pennsylvania, I've had a hard time finding this out there. So basically I cheated a little bit. I went to my local hardware store and found out that they sell fat wood. It was a 2-pound box for $4.50. It would have taken me quite a while probably to get that much fat wood. So like I said, I went and cheated and bought it, but it saved me a lot of time, and I got some really nice fat wood. So I'm going to keep shaving. I'm going to get some more out of this. Okay, so here's what it looks like when you're done. You got some nice shavings on there. Now I'm not going to build the fire up here on this log. I'm going to build it down here in front. So I'm going to stop the cameras, I'm going to back them up and zoom in down here, and I think I'm going to shave just a little bit more fat wood onto this piece of bark. So just hang on and we'll be right back. Okay, so here we are ready to start our fire. I did shave a little bit more fat wood off of there. You can see I have a pretty decent pile. And I also went ahead and made a couple more fuzz sticks when I was moving the cameras. Remember, you can never really have too many fuzz sticks. It's better to have too many than too few. So like I said, if you don't get your fire going after the first time or the second time, you're going to get just more and more discouraged. And it's going to be harder and harder to get your fire going. I just wanted to show you. This one came out. This is a pretty decent fuzz stick. You can see it has a lot of curls on it. And they're all attached and they're all pretty much on the same side there. Now, when you're using your ferro rod, you definitely want to get a nice big ferro rod. A nice big fat one will last you longer, and one that's longer is better too, because every stroke you take on that, the longer this is, the more sparks you're going to get off of that and more material. Now what we're going to do, we're going to use the spine of our knife to strike this ferro rod. We're never going to use our blade, because you're going to damage your blade if you do that, and you need that for other things than just this striking this rod. Now the ferro rod gets oxidation built up on it, so before you use it, what you're going to do is scrape it off a little bit. Make sure you have some nice sparks flying. Now, I know some people like to throw their knife down into the material striking the ferro rod. I don't like to do that. The big thing is you're going to hit your stuff here and you're going to knock it all over the place. So instead of that, what I like to do is plant my foot, put my fist right on my boot, and put my thumb on top of my blade to hold down, and then I'm going to pull on my rod. Now you're not going to pull straight on this. You're going to need to have an angle on your rod whenever you're pulling on your knife to get the sparks going. So we're going to give this a try here. You can see I'm getting a lot of sparks, but they're not actually hitting on the fat wood. That's why it's not igniting. I'm going to spread that out a little bit, knock some of it off there, put that back on, and give it another try here. There we go. Now, we're going to take our fuzz sticks, and you're going to keep a hold of them while you get that fuzz lit. Really what you want is for not only the fuzz part that you carved into this, but you want the actual stick to ignite. You can see how that fat wood's burning. It's burning really hot. But we need to get these sticks ignited in here, or it's not going to do us any good. I had some fat wood in there that wasn't ignited yet. Just gave it a little oxygen to get it perked back up here. Hopefully that's enough to get this going. Okay, well, as you can see, this is not an easy fire to get going. So we're going to try again. I still have some of my fat wood that didn't burn up, but I'm going to need to scrape some more down in there. Now, I hope you saw that fat wood burnt for quite a while in there, so make sure you have a nice pile of the fat wood before you get started. Now this time, instead of me trying to feed my fuzz sticks into it, I'm actually going to try to pile them up there first, and hopefully they will ignite a little better this time. But I'm still going to need to make some more of them. Now I hope you can see from this, I'm by no means an expert at making a fire like this. It is a handy thing to practice because it is hard to do. But don't worry, in the next video I'm going to show you an easier way to make a fire. But for right now, let's get back and concentrate on this one. Okay, I have some nice fuzz sticks in there. Like I said, we're going to give it a try this way this time. I'm going to try to get the sparks to go down and ignite the fat wood while the fuzz sticks are already on there. Now it's important not to get ahead of yourself here and end up smothering your fire. So you want to take your time putting the wood on, but you also want to make sure you get enough on there so that it has a chance to ignite before the others goes out. And if you can see over here on the side, my birch bark actually caught on fire too. It's like I said, that's why I like to use it, because now this fire is going to burn, even though it looks like it is anyway. So you can see this was not an easy fire to start, but it's important that you don't get discouraged. You don't want to give up. Now I'm going to keep this fire going because we're going to use it in our next video. So until then, I hope you enjoy watching. See ya. Okay, before we go, remember out there, this is your most valuable tool. So don't get discouraged when you're doing things, especially if you're in a real survival situation. You need to just calm down and relax and just make sure it happens. Okay, until next time, have a great day.